So me and you, Dill, have had PS4s for a while now.
Yeah.
We've had such an access to some fantastic exclusives down the years.
No, we have, yeah.
We've been spoiled. We've been very, very spoiled.
Yeah, it was one of the reasons why I got a PS4. I normally don't get consoles. I'm a PC gamer,
You're a PC gamer.
Yeah, but you know, the PS4 has so many good choices.
You'd be crazy not to have a PlayStation in this generation. I mean, that's why it's also mentioned in our top 5 list, you know, for best console. Shameless plug right there. Check that bitch. We need those views, Dill. We need them.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, like we said on that one, we are the best, so...
It's a fantastic video, so definitely check that one out. But we're not talking about all these different consoles right now. What is this list today, Dill?
This is the top 5 best PlayStation 4 exclusives.
And this list is obviously opinion based, but
yeah,
again,
exactly.
As Dill humbly says, it is the best opinion. So let's see what we've got here. Let's see who doesn't like this list and who loves this list. Hey?
Yeah, let's do it. So the number 5 pick is The Last of Us Part 2, which was released on the 19th of June 2020, developed by Naughty Dog. This is an action-adventure game, and this is set 5 years after the first game. This is one of the best-looking games on PlayStation 4. Like, technically, the graphics are so good. Like, you can tell Naughty Dog poured their heart and soul into this one. They just wanted to make it basically into a film. This ridiculous.
You just know when you get a Naughty Dog game that it's at a point where it's not really a game anymore, you know? It's sort of like a film with a game. I don't know how to describe it like that, but... Like you said, the details to it are just incredible. Like, without going too much into the story right now, like all these little details in the game that they've added, you just wouldn't realise it until someone points them out. So, like, you know, like if you get shot or wounded in the game with Ellie as she bandages herself up, over time the blood will soak through the bandage over time as well. So even with Ellie, like if you're standing in front of a mirror or a reflection and you zoom in, her face literally starts squinting as well to like mimic that zoom. And like even if you find some notes, that's what I mean. Like that's even cool. If you find some notes in the water and all, and you pull out a note, the note texture is all wet, and it's these like little details in the game where you're just like, wow, Naughty Dog have really just outdone themselves here.
Like you probably don't know about these details just because you're immersed in the world anyway. So like,
I think it helps you get in there, doesn't it?
It helps you, but like because they're so small, it's kind of natural to miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't expect it. Like I saw that like when you do melee strikes with heavy weapons and you hit them in the face, like the enemy's teeth get knocked out.
The combat is probably one of the most satisfying combats I've seen
gruesome
ever. It's very gruesome.
Yeah.
I think we've got quite a few on this list that the combat is key to these games.
Yeah.
But The Last of Us 2's combat is just, it's not as like fancy as some of the other games on this list.
Yeah.
But it's definitely probably the most satisfying. Like you said.
Yeah.
You just hit someone like that and their teeth are just like over the place.
It's just lifelike. Like the gore mechanics are insane. Like I had an explosive bow and I shot someone, and then their parts were in the ceiling, and then their body parts fell on me. Like I just don't expect that to happen when I play a game.
No.
you just expect them to explode, and that's it. Not that level of detail of just like falling body parts.
Yeah, no, that's it. And I think with that combat, I think they've tied in really well to the stealth aspects of the game as well. Like the parts where you're trying just to evade these other people or zombies and stuff like that. And with all like the environment around you, all these little details, you just get so immersed with the story, and every little aspect, every little mechanic Naughty Dog have implemented, it's so satisfying. It's so like, it's just refined, and it's just more improved than the original Last of Us for me. They've taken all those little aspects and just turned them up by 10. and it really shows in this game.
Yeah, exactly. Like this game's been released in June and it's already sold 4 million copies. I think
ridiculous.
That's insane. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, I know we were talking about this. Like, there's a bit of saltiness with how the story plays out. Don't want to go too much into it, just in spoilers and whatnot. But you can just tell by how many copies were sold and all like that. It's a system seller, and for good reason.
No, it is. Yeah.
This is Naughty Dog's baby, basically. I know they've got the Uncharted series and other stuff. I can't remember what else they do. Do
Crash
count anymore? Crash. That's who I was thinking. I was thinking of one. I was thinking like Ratchet and Clank, that's Insomniac. Yeah, with Crash and all that. But The Last of Us was definitely the series that just took them to that level of respect for developers. They're definitely still sitting at the top of the tree for me. And
no, definitely. Yeah.
The Last of Us 2 has just continued to cement them up there.
Yeah, like even if you didn't like the story, you just have to like love the dedication they put in all of these little mechanics. Like
100%.
No one expected it to no one is expecting like teeth to get knocked out when you hit someone, or like people to be holding their throat when they're stabbed in the neck. It's just crazy.
It's gruesome, but like you said, it's just incredible to watch. And I think people seem to forget that they were coming off the back of probably one of the greatest games Sony's ever exclusively had in The Last of Us.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree.
So like to follow up on a game like The Last of Us is no easy thing to do.
No, it's not at all.
But I think they smashed it with this one.
Yeah, and they've done a good job. I respect them for it.
Yeah, it definitely has a place as one of the best exclusives on PS4 for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So, number 4 on this list is Horizon Zero Dawn. This is a game developed by Guerrilla Games, released in February 2017. I haven't got the exact date like you do. I'm not as precise as you.
Exactly. See the level of details between us, Lou. Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, dates separate us. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn sold over 10 million units since 2017. Now, actually, that was as of 2019. So God knows how many more it's sold since then. But yeah, I think the first thing I wanted to say about Horizon Zero Dawn is that Guerrilla Games, they developed the Killzone series for about 13 years.
Yeah.
That was the only game they were putting out. I love Killzone, by the way. No one seems to really give it a lot of love, but if you ever find yourself stumbling across Killzone, whether it's the first one I played was free, weirdly enough, on PS3, but like your Shadowfall and all that, it's a very fun game. But for a developer to spend that amount of time on one game in one series to then produce something completely different to what they've done, they've absolutely smashed it with Horizon Zero Dawn.
No, 100%. No one was expecting this. Like when everyone first saw the teaser, like they were so confused of seeing like tribal people, but then massive like mecha animals. It's just like, what is going on? It's such a unique concept, but because of that, it was so interesting. Everyone needed to play it. It was so cool.
That's it. Like obviously you're following Aloy, who's like a hunter, a part of this really like aggressive tribe, and you're like some hunter in a world overrun by these machine dinosaur things. And I think, like you said, it's such an interesting storyline. Like, you can show someone a screenshot of this game and they'll be like, wow, I really want to try this game out because it's just so unique. And I think, but yeah, like Dill, you're a environment artist and whatnot, so like I think one of the first things that has just drawn me to Horizon Zero Dawn is just the environment that it's in.
Oh yeah, it just makes you want to explore, like wants to find out what actually happened to the human race, like why they've gone back to the tribal like times. Like it's just so many questions, and like you said, the environment helps you like explore it. Like you want to develop yourself into the world. Just like all the creatures like walking across it. Like they've done a great job with the animation as well. The animation is so cool. Yeah,
the names and the animations of them are fantastic. Like you got Thunderjaws and Stormbirds and stuff like that. Like,
they're
so
such
cool names. And the way they interact with the environment and how you can sort of plan your attack on them is just, they really just smashed it out of the park by doing that.
Yeah, it's a great mix of just animal and robot behaviour. Like it's just really cool. I love the survival aspect of the game as well. I love that you need some of their parts to like create new armour. Like you
well,
can,
yeah.
you can decide if you want heavy or light armor as well. Like I love that bit as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you can obviously have the option to just quickly travel the world if you really wanted to. But I think the one thing that Guerrilla Games has done really well here is that they give you enough to not want to like just run to your next main mission and all that.
Yeah.
Like all the side quests with like their little self-contained narratives and whatnot. Like it just makes you want to find as many side quests as possible and do them. Like and this is something that I didn't like about Red Dead 2, for example, where a lot of the side quests you just have to go from A to B and whatnot, and you didn't really care too much. But with Guerrilla Games, I think even though the world is so massive, with all these like little side quests they've got in it, it just makes you want to keep exploring and you don't get bored of it.
So like one of the main things that I love about open world games is that if I'm just playing it, I'm not focusing on like main story or anything, but I'm just having fun with the environment and just getting lost. That's the one thing that like compels me to buy these kind of games. Like you said, like I could fast travel, like do the main quest and that's it. You know, it would be so so quick. But like I spent so many hours in this game just exploring, finding the little collectibles, reading the little like dialogues and stuff, just to find out more about the worlds.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what Guerrilla have done really well in this game. I think that's what makes it such a surprise here, is that they took such a unique concept and a lot of people were unsure of how they're going to deliver, and they absolutely smashed it. I can't wait to have the sequel. I can't remember the sequel from the top of my head. I think it's called Horizon Forbidden West, something like that. It's a pretty cool name. And I just can't wait to play that sequel now.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. So our number 3 pick was Uncharted 4, which was released on May 10th, 2016, and this was also developed by Naughty Dog. And this game was set 3 years after the events of Uncharted 3. So I
loved Uncharted 3. Sorry, I loved Uncharted 3.
No, Uncharted,
one of my favourite games on PS3 by far.
Uncharted 3 was great, and this is actually meant to be the last journey of Nathan Drake. So this is why it was important for the fans, because obviously we've been following Nathan Drake since like 2007.
Yeah.
And like the dialogue has always been really good in these games. Even though it's a linear game, like you played it for Nathan's adventures, basically. Mm-hmm. And they did a really good job with this one. Like they've added like a branch in dialogue, even though it's not as like expansive as like maybe The Witcher or most RPG games. At least it adds a little bit more detail. Like they've added larger areas where you actually have to drive a car, so it's it's just a wider experience. And I love that they've done that for the last game.
I think, when you mentioned just a little bit before where you said that this is like the last game for this series, basically, I think if you haven't played an Uncharted game before, do not pick up Uncharted 4.
No, don't do that.
If you've played the original trilogy and then you play this one, this game for me just feels like a love letter to the fans of the series. And so if you can play the first 3 before you play Uncharted 4, do it, because you'll just appreciate Uncharted 4 that a little bit more, with all these like little Easter eggs and throwbacks that they have scattered throughout the world and story. It's definitely like such a fantastic love letter from Naughty Dog for this series and to all the fans that have enjoyed the series since 2007. Yeah,
2007. Yeah, that's the best way how I would describe it as well, a love letter, because they've added so many good animations. They've just upped everything in this game compared to the first 3.
Yeah, I mean that was the one thing that captivated me on this game. So I mean, I didn't need to be sold on this game, so I already know what to expect from the Uncharted series. But I think one of the first trailers they released was the gameplay from Madagascar.
Yeah,
I said this to you before. Like I was just engrossed by the mud tracks left by the Jeep. I was just staring at the screen like, oh my god, look at the mud tracks.
Yeah.
And and that's the one thing that I've always rated about Naughty Dog, is like they're developing these games on the PS4 where you get a lot of people from PC saying, oh, it's not as good as my PC or whatever, but Naughty Dog just knows how to utilize the console and just make these environments and the graphics just look incredible.
Yeah, no, they really do. Like the action scenes in this game is ridiculous. It's like you're watching like Mission Impossible. It's like you're actually playing Mission Impossible. It's ridiculous. The animations are so clean as well.
Yeah,
just
and they take you all over the world. Like going to Italy and like how only Naughty Dog can make me want to go to Scotland. You know, like,
wow.
It looks it looks absolutely fantastic in this. I mean, obviously you've got this Italy and Panama and Madagascar, as I already mentioned, but all these like environments are so unique and different, and like Naughty Dog just really nailed the immersiveness of it. Like when you go and play these, you like you said, you'll probably spend time just staring at tire tracks left by your Jeep.
No, yeah,
it just looks incredible.
Yeah, like, do you also like? I didn't expect this game to have such a good multiplayer. Like, I just thought
really
the multiplayer was. Yeah, I just thought the multiplayer was really fun. Like, they just brought all the new mechanics and animations they've added in the single player campaign. They've added in multiplayer, made some good maps, some good gun mechanics as well. It's just I don't know. It's just like I didn't expect it from a single player, like a game that's focused on single player to make such a good multiplayer experience as well. It's really interesting.
The multiplayer for Uncharted has always been a bit
that's how I'd explain it, like meh, you know. Yeah,
but they meh. But they absolutely smashed it this time, and like that's not even a strength of the series, but they've really done well in the multiplayer. I mean, my favourite bit about the whole Uncharted series is the characters and the dialogue. Like, I love Nathan Drake as a character. He's such a flawed character. He has his little flaws here and there, but he's just a human being, and I've always loved his banter with Sully.
I love Sully.
You've got all these fantastic supporting characters like Charlie and Eleanor. I just love the connections these characters have, and obviously they've been a lot of the characters have been involved with each other since the very first game, and you just tell that sense of like connections there. Like it's hard to sort of capture when you're writing a script or something like that. But with Uncharted 4, the characters and the motivations and their interactions are just incredible, and it's always been a favourite of mine for this series, that I've always loved the characters and dialogue.
Oh, definitely, man. Absolutely.
So, number 2 on this list is Mr. Spiderman himself. Developed by Insomniac Games, released just 2 years ago now, 2018 in September. Spider-Man has sold over 13.2 million units still. It was the fastest selling PS4 game, and it's also the best selling superhero game of all time. And for it to be just an exclusive as well, and it's the best selling superhero game of all time, it just shows how fantastic this game is.
Oh, definitely, man. I love Spider-Man. This game is so sick. I love it so much. Like, what I love about this game is that they've paid so much homage to like the Spider-Man comic character, the MCU character. Just any Spider-Man game any Spider-Man material that's been put out before it, they've paid so much homage to it. They've made their story so unique. Like, it hasn't been like, obviously everyone knows the characters, but they've set it up in such a unique way, which that's what I love about it as well.
No, 100%. Like what you're mentioning about them paying homage and stuff like that. One thing that I would definitely recommend people to do if you haven't watched them before, if you watch all like the little videos before Spider-Man got released with the developers and behind the scenes and all that.
That's a good idea.
You can just see like the love and respect they have for the character and its history. Like the web slinging mechanics and all that, they were drawing inspiration from the older Spider-Man games and all that, and they've got all these references to the characters that they loved and why they wanted to do Spider-Man. Actually, so Marvel, before this game was even announced or developed by Insomniac, Marvel had an agreement with Sony and Insomniac, and they said to them they don't want it to be based on an existing movie or comic book story, so you can choose a character you want to use and tell an original story with it, and they chose Spider-Man just because it was so they just loved the character that much, the developer. So they chose Spider-Man, and it shows, like you said. Shows.
I'm so glad they did. The free roaming in this game, this is one of the best games for free roaming. Just swinging around, like the swinging mechanics is so good.
Fun.
I could just spend a couple hours just swinging. Just killing people. I'm not killing. Spider-Man doesn't kill, but you know what I mean.
What sort of Spider-Man are you? You got the little. Do you wear the old black one, the old black suit? Are you wearing that suit?
Maybe. Maybe. It's a bit stealthy.
I mean, I think the older Spider-Man days, I think that was someone's favourite thing to do, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was just
of
swing
course,
around. And they, again, the song had absolutely nailed it here by making it just so fun to do. Just swinging around and just having a blast going through Manhattan. Like, or the whole of New York. And yeah, the world is just put together so well. It's just so fun to play it.
Oh, definitely. Like, just by, like, they didn't even, like, introduce so many, like, Avengers and stuff. Like, they're using Marvel characters. They can do so much, like, but just by the environment alone, you know where it can go to, because you can see, like, the Avenger Tower, the Wakanda Embassy. There's just so many little nods to, like, where it could lead to. And that's, as a fan, it's quite interesting to see, like, the many directions they've just given themselves just by adding that little thing. It's just really cool. It
is. Yeah, and like all the little details they put into this world, again, like that seems to be a very common theme here with these games, is that you can just tell the developers really spent so much time putting these worlds together. And like one of my favourite things playing Spider-Man is listening to the J. Jonah Jameson podcast.
Oh right, yeah.
It's so fun to listen to. It's so funny, and it's always good that they use it as a storytelling device. Obviously, a lot of his podcasts are reacting to missions that you've just done. Yeah. So, like, knowing what you had to go through and the character motivations and what actually happened, and you having to hear it from him, it's so funny to listen to.
It is.
I just love all these little, and like the backpacks as well.
The backpacks.
It's probably
are cool.
I don't like doing collectible stuff. I find them so boring. I think it was because of Assassin's Creed, where they had to try and make me go and collect about 100,000 feathers, and I never had any never had any interest in doing it. But in Sony Action Spider-Man with the backpacks, it was probably, I think it was the first time I've ever finished collecting everything that's needed to be collected. I don't know if that's a very bad thing to say, but it was just so fun to go around finding these backpacks and learning more about Peter Parker. And I mean, everyone knows his story and all that.
Yeah.
But Insomniac just made it just made me want to continue learning more about, even though I know what he's been through, what happened to him and how he got the powers and stuff like that. Seeing these little backpacks and collectibles are just so sick to do.
Like you, I love doing the collectibles. I love getting all the costumes as well. Even though they were costumes that I didn't really care about, just unlocking them, it felt like I had to do it. Yeah. I think it's because they've just created a unique storyline that no one's like thought about before.
Yeah.
And just because of that homage, you want to do it. I think it's just a privilege thing, you know.
Yeah. I think, like you said though, like you already know the characters and all that. Like, I know I don't want to too spoilery, right? But you know the characters like Dot Ock and all that. You know they're a villain and stuff like that. But when you play the game and you know that it's eventually gonna happen, it doesn't matter, because the way they put the characters together, the way that they interact with one another again. Yeah. You just buy into it. You just want to relive that. Oh, he's gonna turn bad. You just want to relive it, and even though you've seen this happen in Spider-Man 2.
Exactly.
But they've just, this original story they've put together, they've just done such a fantastic job that you forget about what you know about the Spider-Man character. You're just fully immersed in this Spider-Man.
Yeah. So our number one pick was God of War, and that was released on April 20th, 2018, and developed by Santa Monica. I love this game. I'm just going to say it now. This is still one of my favourite single-player games.
Of all time,
yeah, because I'm not really keen on linear games. You know, like games where you just do a quest and move on, do a quest and then move on.
Yeah.
But like the story in this one is so good, and I just love how they paid homage to the older games. Because that's what I grew up playing as well, the older games. And like the character development from God of War 3 to this new like remake, it's just so good.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, like if you haven't played the God of War series until you played this one first, I think in God of War 3, Kratos was such an unredeemable character. Like, he was without being a dick, he was a piece of shit. Like there was just nothing going for him that you wanted to root for. He was just so hateful with everything, and you were just like, it's fun to an extent, but there's only so much you can do with such a character.
Yeah.
But then with this game, in this series, it absolutely just turned over its head. The character of Kratos in this is incredible. I absolutely love Kratos in this.
No, I do as well.
His interaction with Atreus in this is probably one of the best dynamics I've seen in a game before.
Yeah.
Like, I just love how he is towards him. He's like, boy. Just stuff like that. I absolutely loved it. And Atreus, again, it's another fantastic. When I first heard that they were going to introduce like a little companion character, I was very skeptical. I don't know about you, but I was just like, I hate companion characters. They're so frustrating. They never do what you need them to do. They always get involved in dumb shit when you're in combat.
Yeah.
They're so annoying. You just rather just stay at home and let me take care of business. But
yeah,
the dynamic of Atreus and Kratos in this is just incredible. I love their interactions with one another and their growth together throughout the game. It's a really fun thing to watch.
Oh no, definitely, man. Like you said as well, like when you hear companion characters, the one thing that screams to you, it has to be good AI or it's going to be terrible. Yeah. Played so many games with AI companions. Like everyone's played Skyrim and Fallout, and the amount of glitches that happen to your companions is so hilarious, but so annoying at the same time.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And in a game like this, which is so story driven, if you haven't got a good AI with you, it's going to take you out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah.
In this, Atreus just felt like an actual person. Like his movement, his interactions, his combat here and there.
Yeah.
It didn't take you out of the story where, like you said, you're thinking, what a dumb piece of shit. It did really well.
They just, all the small details, like when you're playing and you spam all your arrows, because that's what Atreus does. He has arrows where you can stun enemies. When you stun them all, and when the fight is finished, he will ask for feedback, and then Kratos will say, "Pace your arrows." So so as Kratos is giving you feedback as the player, but because obviously Atreus is doing it, he's giving feedback to Atreus. It's just so cool. Like it makes the character. It makes the characters feel more alive than just having them just follow you around doing nothing.
This is how awesome this game is, though, Dill, because we haven't even mentioned the best thing about this one.
What's the best thing? What's the
best thing about this game is the combat.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I genuinely feel I might pronounce this wrong. Is it the Lithuanian axe? Leviathan axe.
Yeah, Leviathan axe.
The Lithuanian. That's a country.
Lithuanian axe.
Yeah, the Lithuanian axe from Lithuania is one of my favourite gaming weapons of all time. I felt so awesome throwing that and then just summoning it back to my hand. You felt like, I know obviously it's Thor and all that, but you felt like Thor from the films where you just lift your hand up.
Oh yeah,
and then it just comes to you. Yeah, the combat in this is so satisfying.
I can't think of another game that has like a retrieval weapon thing like that, but because it makes it so satisfying where you throw your weapon and then you can just punch them in the face. And then bring your weapon back. And then if it's behind them, they'll trip them up or something. It's just so cool.
Awesome. It's so satisfying. I take it back from what I said earlier. This was the most satisfying combat earlier, not Last of Us 2. God of War had the most satisfying combat. How many times did you just throw the axe as far as you can, ran away a little bit, and then just...
Oh no, I did that all the time.
I think everyone, if you haven't done that, then you're not playing this game, right? Because it's so fun to call this axe back. So I think one of the best things about the combat, we've obviously got the axe and whatnot, is the fights with the Valkyries as well. Like again, Valkyries are like a little side quest to do. It's not part of the main story, but the amount of times I lost to these fuckers, but I wanted to keep playing over and over again to finally beat them, because you just had to basically everything that you learned combat wise, you had to utilize against these characters, and it was just so satisfying utilizing your skills, the combos, like you said, throwing the axe, punching, calling it back to do more damage to them. The combat is just stellar.
It's great. Like it's good as well because it's really challenging. Like the game isn't just an easy mode game where you just wipe through them all. It's such a challenging game. Like there's so many different enemy variations you have to look out for. Like so dodging is really key. Yeah. Using Atreus' arrows is really key as well. That's why Atreus is really useful as well. He's actually useful for those stuns. Yeah, you're right. And the whole world itself as well, going back to the story, the open world that they've sort of built is just fantastic. I love the Norse gods. Like obviously a lot of people are familiar with them through Marvel. Yeah. And if you are familiar with them through Marvel, you obviously love Thor and Odin, but in this game,
they've crafted the Norse gods to be such a hated sort of race, and they've done it really well, and it makes you in the future hopefully cross paths with Thor. It's a really cool like world that they're starting to build. They haven't even touched the surface of this yet.
Exactly.
I can't wait for them to explore this even more.
Yeah, I know. Like, they obviously did Greek gods so well, so I was kind of skeptical how well they could do Norse, but they've just fitted it in. They fitted Kratos in so well, like he was just born there, and like I said before, the homages to him being a Spartan is brought up as well.
It's so cool.
It's just
cool.
It is really cool.
It's such an awesome game, and no doubt there will be the second one for this series coming out on the PS5, no doubt. If it's even half this game, you know, I fully expect it to be better because I try to develop this.
100%.
If it's even half of the quality of this game, it's still going to be such a fun game to play.
Yeah, this will probably be the game that I'll buy a PS5 for if it's announced in the next 2 years. I'll probably buy it straight away. This is you know what? This is not even the best PS4 exclusive. If we ever do a list of the future of the best games ever, expect this one to be very high up that list. Just expect it to. Me and you fucking love this game. No, there isn't a lot of bad things to say. The only bad thing I would say is that because it's quite linear, there isn't a lot of like side characters that I'd wished for. But they've set the game up so much that you know what's going to happen. So there are so many things going to happen.
Yeah, like even the side character. Yeah, there's not a lot of side characters in this, but each interaction that you do have with a side character is really fun, and like the characters are very fun to interact with. But I think if they can just take everything they take from this one, and then add a bit more depth to the world in sense of more characters to interact with, this is going to be the best game on PS5. I'll make this announcement.
I think so as well. Yeah.
This episode was recorded on the 18th of August 2020. I'm making that claim now that God of War 2 will be the best game on PS5.
Wow, that's a good. What award is it going to win? Is it going to win
everything?
It's going to win everything.
They'll make it Oscars just to give it to this.